suddenly see him standing there, a beautiful stranger, tall and fair. I wanna stuff some chocolate in my face. But then we laugh and talk all evening, which is totally bizarre. Nothing like the life I've led so far. 'Cause for the first time in forever, for the first time in forever, nothing's in my way. Oh! Hello, I'm Tara Thomas, and this is the How to Sing Like a Disney Princess series. Today's princess we're looking at, Anna from Frozen. First of all, I just want to say that I love Anna. I mean, she's so bubbly and peppy, and that really does come into play with regard to her voice. So let's get right to it. The song we're looking at today is For the First Time in Forever. My first tip to getting through this song is you're going to need to know the difference between your chest voice and your head voice. And if you don't know what that is, I highly recommend you check out my Little Mermaid How to Sing Like a Princess video, and it'll cover that for you. But if you've already watched that, great. And you should know that the chest voice is responsible for the heavier lower notes, belting notes. They also give you volume, and your head voice is for the lighter airy notes. Well, Princess Anna, she does an excellent job masking the two voices together. So you never really quite know that she's slipping into her head voice for the higher notes because it's easier to sing, or she's slipping into her chest voice to create more of a powerful, elongated sound. So what I want you to do is I want you to sing in your head voice as Anna, but I want you to give your head voice a lot more volume. And the way to do this is two things. One, you want to open your mouth way wider than in the cartoon. The cartoons can be very deceptive because they just look so pretty and cute and their faces are always perfect. And when you're singing, sometimes to get some of these notes out, you're not making the best facial expressions. But if you sound amazing, nobody's really gonna care. And so don't use the vocal technique in the visual of the movie. Instead, I want you to open your mouth a lot wider to get a louder sound. In addition to that, I also want you to, even though you're singing in your head voice, which can be sort of the more darker sound in the back of your head, I want you to bring that sound forward, to try to still make that sound pushing forward. An example of this would be the end. For the first time in forever. If you look at my mouth, it's wide open, and I'm also pushing the sound if I were to imagine my body as a bullhorn, for example, and my mouth is sort of the bell of the bullhorn. That's where I want my sound to come out. Forever! Instead of forever, which is way, way in the back, and it's not appropriate for this style of song. And so that's what I really want, is I want your head voice to have a great deal of volume and to push that sound forward. All right, the second tip, now that you know about the head voice and making it louder, is you really need to know where Princess Anna sings in her head voice and where she chooses to sing in her chest. Now, she's really a great singer, so she's able to do this seamlessly without any real alert from the audience. The audience can't tell that she's doing this, but she is very strategically knowing when to use her head voice and when to use her chest voice. An example of this would be, don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in the zone. That part of the song, don't know if I'm elated or gassy, is sung in her chest voice. So she goes, don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere. All of that is very pushed forward in the chest. Remember that no matter what voice you're singing in, chest or head, it should always sound forward. For a lot of these princesses, that's just sort of the style of singing. But that's chest. Don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere. And then when she flips into the zone, that's head. But I'm somewhere in the zone, is where she's now in her head voice. And if your mouth is open and you're adding a lot of volume to the head voice in the zone, it'll sound like one voice. So, don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in the zone. And if you can see, it works, right? You don't think, oh, what are these two different voices I hear? So if you can map out moments in the song where she does this, you'll have a better chance at making it all sound like seamless in one voice. Another example where she does it is the picture of sophisticated grace. When she goes into sophisticated grace, that's her head voice. The picture of sophisticated grace. And she kind of does like an opera vibrato there. So those are some parts in the song where it's totally fine to flip into your head voice, but to really map out in the song where you're gonna do that and then add that extra volume to the head voice will really help for it to create one sound. All right, the last tip I will give you for this song and for this princess is what I call the yodel flip. And I call it the yodel flip because it happens a lot in yodeling. It's that yodel-hee-hoo kind of a flip that people do. But that flip happens in all different genres of music, but it'll happen a little less abruptive. So in, Western music, for example, it'll happen very heavily where there's that yodel, you hear that kind of a flip. But in pop music, it happens all the time as well. I mean, Rihanna would be an example of someone that uses the yodel flip very heavily, where she goes, I just want, or, under my umbrella, hella, hella, that kind of thing would be an example of the yodel flip. Well, Anna uses the yodel flip, but she does a really good job masking it so it isn't kind of abrasive or annoying. Sometimes when you do it too much, it can be like overkill. And so she does a great job doing the yodel flip. And what's great about the yodel flip is what it does to the voice is it sort of clicks the voice into place for that sweet spot for your belting range. A great example of how Anna does this is at the beginning of the song. The window is open, so's that door. I didn't know that. When she says I, she's not saying I. She's singing hi. And she's kind of doing that little flip. I didn't know they did that anymore. Who knew? And she does it on who too. We owned 8,000 salad plates. And so what she's able to do is when her voice sort of clicks into place, she's able to hit those sweet spots in her voice more easily than if she didn't do it. Again, you don't want to ever overdo this. And if you do it too much in one sitting, it probably won't be very good for your voice. But just sort of strategically using it, especially where there could be like a challenging section, the flip is really a great technique. Well, that ends the tips that I was going to give you, and I'll leave you with this last thought. I know that it can seem like the way that I'm teaching you is very technical, or I'm giving you specific words that you need to be in chest voice on, or specific words where you need to be in your head voice. But at the end of the day, I really want you to think of all of these tips as tools, and you have them all sort of in your toolbox. And you, after practicing all of these tools, can really choose the tools that work best for your voice at a given time, at a given moment in the song. And so if you feel like you are straining and you need to maybe flip into your head voice, you can use that tool and you've practiced it, and so you can, it's readily available for you. I can't wait for you to hopefully submit some of your videos of you singing Anna's for the first time in forever. Again, I will listen and provide comments and feedback. And again, thanks for watching.